right, guys, welcome back to Overshot, a paintball podcast. We're so lucky you decided to hang out with us one more time. But before we get started with the guests that we have for you guys, we got to tell you, of course, about the companies that help us out. And Waldo is going to tell us about the first one.
Absolutely.
Hit him with it.
Dizana Sports, the A1, the day one, as you always say. So Tim and the crew at Dizana have been pumping things out for us. We're going to be getting some new jerseys coming out. They're going to be an all-black jersey, orange lettering. It's going to say Overshot, a paintball podcast. So for all of you guys that have been hitting us up, want jerseys, that's something that we're going to be coming out for you guys as well. We're even going to have select ones for some of the Patreon supporters as well. So definitely be looking out for that. I know big congratulations to Seattle Thunder on their recent great performance at the NXL.
Dude, they played great.
Philly Open. So congrats to them. They're a Dizana team. I know Dizana was pumping up a lot of stuff there. Another Dizana team that did well. Shout out to the High Rollers. I had a couple of our friends on there as well. You know, they played the TSXL. So Dizana teams, you know, it's a newer company. They're coming out. If anybody needs any help with anything, hit us up. We'll get you linked up with Ross. You can hit up Ross at DizanaSports.com if you're a team guy or anything like that you need. I know a couple people have reached out to us. So thank you again to Dizana Sports. And definitely use our code Overshot for 10% off your entire order from gloves, jerseys, headbands, or anything like that. And thank you, as always, to Dizana Sports.
Of course, man, you know, they're the best on the planet. Their custom jerseys and stuff are awesome. I just want to say before we move on to the next one, their stuff was the best in the summertime at ICPL. I think I said this last time, but it kept us nice and cool, man, because their jerseys were nice and thick, dude. It is the perfect stuff for the summertime, so make sure you grab your shit now and get laced up, man. But of course, we also got to tell you about Volcano, man. The best gear bag on the planet, the only gear bags we travel with. Their gear bags are the perfect size, not too big, not too small. You don't need to fit your grandmother and 12 guns and 9 tanks in your bag. You just need what you need because, like I said, Waldo and I, we travel deep, man. When we go to events, it's normally not just me and him talking to each other in the car. We at least have 2 or 3 other dudes. Car is full, so this gear bag is perfect for everybody and all your shit to fit in the car. Their website is Volcano USA, and like I said, the best gear bags. They also have cool shirts too. I have a bunch of their shirts. I know Waldo's got a couple. They keep sending us some. They're truly another great sponsor. They just send us shit all the time. They're the best. But so pick up a shirt, pick up a tech tee, pick up a hat, pick up a bag, and if you do, use code Overshot10 when you check out, you'll get 10% off your order, just like Dizana, guys. And thank you for supporting the sponsors that support us, man. We truly see it, and we really, I mean, it makes me feel good when I see you guys doing that. But Absolutely. Now that that's over, for sure, dude, we're getting into the episode. Tropic Thunder. We have a bunch of dudes here. They're hot off their NXL Philly win, man. So we get into all that in the episode. This gets off the rails. There's some laughing. There's some crying. It's truly a great episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I know Waldo and I did. And we'll see you guys in the episode, man.
Peace out, guys. Be safe.
All right, guys, we are back on Overshot, a paintball podcast. Of course, we got the dudes from Tropic Thunder here, hot off their NXL win across multiple divisions. They've been really hot this whole year. I can't wait to talk to them and get the whole story with all the guys. But so you know what? Let's just start it. Let's go, Mike. First, you're up here on the top, man. If you're watching this, so how did paintball find you, man? What was your first experience with paintball like, and like where was it?
I started playing 2 years ago, actually. One point, I just said, forget it. You know, like I needed a hobby. I used to play lacrosse and football, and I was like, I need a hobby. I'm getting old and I'm getting fat. And one day I just randomly picked up and went to Long Live. And it was actually the day of NXL Philly that year, and I didn't know. And the field was closed. No one was there. I was like, screw this field. And I ended up going to Cousins in Staten Island. Bought a bunch of gear, and then the next day I had contacted my buddy Simon, and I'm like, you know what? Buy everything you need. We're playing paintball. And then the next weekend, every weekend for about a full summer, like, I think it was like 12, 13 weekends straight, we did Saturdays and Sundays, me and my buddy Simon. How I met Rich, same thing. And, you know, that followed through. We went straight to speedball, no woods ball whatsoever. I probably played woods ball 3 times. But that was about as – there is a real long story to it. It's pretty short and sweet, you know, like needed something, found it, got addicted.
Yeah. No, that's how it happens. And then he was already talking about you. So, Rich, same question to you, man. How did paintball find you?
Pretty much the same story. Like I actually it was like December of last year. I went out just like by myself. I was like trapped in the house before COVID and just needed something to do in the winter. And I played paintball when I was like 13, 14. So I thought, let me go out. I went to Cousins too in Staten Island, and I didn't want to jade my like experience by like using, the typical like Tipman rental. So like I found a ref there and I paid him. I was like, look, man, like, what's it going to take for me to use your gun for like the day? You know, and I had a like fun day just solo. I went by myself, and then 2 weeks later, I went to Long Live. Well, like a month later, it was like a nice winter day, and I went to Long Live, and Rich at Long Live was like, you should buy your own gear. Money talks, bullshit walks. And we started laughing. And then I ended up buying my own gear that day. And, and then we went, literally, it was the day we went into COVID. So, like, I remember they actually shut down, like, a TSXL that day. So after that, I actually drove up during COVID. I drove to Connecticut because they were open first. They just had a speedball team playing and hopped on with them. And that's, the story started from there. Played with a handful of guys. I don't want to go too far into like the Tropic story, but a bunch of buddies started coming out, and ultimately we just said, like, let's just do our own thing, have a good time, but be competitive, because we were all, we all played sports at one point or another, and that was how Tropic started. And we played our first event. We played an EPL event July 25th last year and came in first. So it was an awesome way to like start playing competitive paintball. But certainly, like, when this started, it was all about just being with your buddies and having a good time, like most guys. Like, I'm sure most guys that come on this podcast, it's the same story, same MO, right? So that was the concept, and fell in love with it, obsessed with it, and I try to do my best to like manage, work life, family life, and paintball all in one.
Yeah, that's the balance, right? That's always the tough balance.
I just want to be clear, a TSXL never got shut down. Jim ran his own event that got shut down during COVID.
Jim Kim.
So everybody's watching. I did not run an event when I was not supposed to be running an event. But if that happens again this year, I already got a nice boat that we're gonna blow up an airball field and stick a barge and stick it out in international waters where there's no rules, and then we'll have like kangaroo fights shit too. So TSXL's going nowhere. We'll buy our own island.
This is brilliant. I'm all about it.
That
Where do you think I was
EPL,
getting the boat from?
Ritz, I forgot about the EPL you guys won, the first one. Wolves had just like merged what we thought was a super line, and then we're like, this is it, let's go in. We kill the whole prelims, we get beat out by some team, and I look over to the right, and Rich and all the guys who have been playing for like a fraction of the time of my guys are just going on a warpath and just ran through all of the finals and won. And I'm looking at them, I'm like, oh, I hate these guys so much right now. My heart hurts.
Can't beat them, join them, dude.
Oh my god!
All I know is I got 5 on the kangaroo in the red corner. That's all I know. So, Jonah, you're the minute. You're kind of next on this. So, same question to you, man. How did paintball find you, and what was your first time kind of like?
Really, paintball's kind of always been a part of my life, sort of. Like, my dad used to play a lot when we were like when he was younger, and
Oh, that's dope, dude.
I just would go out with him all the time, play with him, and I remember I was always using like a little Axe Mini, like just messing around. We used to go to High Velocity a lot, just like play on like the trenches map, the woods, like those type things. I never really touched speedball until like last year.
My favorite field, dude. Still my favorite field. I mean, I like speedball, but that's my favorite field, dude. The World War II, the castle.
Oh yeah,
7 years.
They got the whole airplane. They got the whole. That shit is crazy. But yeah, speedball kind of found my life like last year. I got picked up by these two guys, Caesar and Eli from the Villains, and from once they saw me play, I guess it's like rec ball. They saw me play, and they saw the way I moved, and they just decided to pick me up, bring me to practice. I recruited, and we just kept playing. I mean, the first event was we came in like 17th out of 18th place in the EPL tournament. I forget, but it was last year. But we just grinded, and I mean, there's nothing but up now. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, right. I mean, you guys won a couple events, so I mean, hot start for Tropic Thunder for sure, man.
So how did Rich steal you from villains?
So actually,
Acquired the contract.
So actually, he stole Matt Rosado from the Villains, my guy. I kind of like started playing speedball with him as well. Like he kind of put me on, taught me a bunch and stuff like that. I kind of looked up to him while I started playing, and he kind of just asked me like, "Yo, you want to play NXL?" I'm like, duh, like I'm always outside. I'm always playing. Like, let's go, let's do this, and we did it. We won, and I mean, you can't break that up. This is a tropical season.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah, man. So, I want to talk to Pia right now, but I don't think he's here right now. So what's it like? Oh, you are. We just can't see you. Perfect. Yo, yeah. I don't know why we can't see you, but now I'm going to hit you with the same question that I hit them. So, what was your first time playing? How did paintball find you? Where was it? Give me all the deets, man.
Awesome. So, honestly, I had gotten out of the Marine Corps, and my buddy had also gotten out of the Air Force at around the same time. And he hit me up one day, and I haven't seen him in a couple of years. And he was like, "Hey, man, you want to go paintballing? We haven't done this since we were, 11 years old, 10 years old." So we went out there, and after that, I fell in love with paintball again, then found Long Live, and eventually Rich found me. Actually was yelling at me to keep running up the Dorito side, and then from there on out, became friends with Rich, and here we are.
Yeah, right, and the rest is history, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We've been doing great. Everybody around us is a family. Our whole line is, we watch out for each other out there on the field and off the field.
Dude, hell yeah, dude. So what's it like playing national events? You guys don't exactly have like haven't been playing a long time. Playing national events are like a big step, man. So what's it like, especially for you, Pete, while you're still with us? What's it like playing national events, man?
Honestly, it's a dream come true. I've started paintball less than a year ago now, and to have played in 2 national events and let alone win them has mind-boggling. I'm still processing it all, to be honest with you. It's absolutely crazy. I can't thank you enough to Rich and everybody else on the Tropic. Like, we all grind so hard for this, and it's great to be with these guys.
No, dude, for sure. You're definitely right. Like, there's definitely some people that never even make it to Sunday Club. You know what I'm saying? So to have it in your first year, it's definitely pretty fucking sweet, dude.
Exactly, man. It's a great feeling.
Awesome. And now, Jonah, I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to say the same question to you, man. Again, you said you haven't been playing for too long. What's it like playing national events, man, and getting out there and exposure? And not only that, but doing well, making Sundays.
It's like Pete said, like dream come true, literally. Like, I remember just maybe a couple months ago sitting in my room watching, people play, like watching teams that I'd play against at like Long Live and shit play and watch them, and that was like my first national event, my second national event. We literally won it. Like it just I still can't process it. Like it's crazy. Literally walking off the field as we win, I'm just walking off the field like if I have to play again. I'm not even thinking like we just won. It's like it's crazy when you're in that mode. It's crazy.
Cool. Did you get a chance to like meet any pros while you were there? Was there any pro that was like when you saw them, you're like, oh shit, that's fucking yeah, or that's Tyler Harmo? There's any like
Alex
moments
Goldman,
like that?
Watching
those
Alex
fucking
Goldman,
beasts, dude.
like fucking explode off the box and like that shit is like, and fucking Alex Frazee taking pictures of me and like the guys, because my guy Derek, that's also on Tropic Thunder, he blessed me with a Hermesis band. He blessed a bunch of us with a Hermesis bands.
Yeah,
so
nice.
Alex Frazee, like
guy,
he recognized him, so he wound up taking photos of us and stuff, like being in the pit with Dynasty. Also, being in the pit watching Dynasty, like they were playing against Heat, so watching that, being in the pit with that, like it was intense. It was crazy.
Dude, that had to be an awesome experience. Awesome.
It was insane.
Cool. Now, and Rich, you could maybe talk about more like the logistics behind it, dude. So you're kind of like the main guy at Tropic Thunder. What's it like running this national team? I mean, it's a lot of stuff. Like, it's not just going up there with 5 dudes with guns and playing some paintball. It's hotel. It's
They
travel.
had
It's
their own
this, it's that.
hotel. They bought out a hotel for the event, is what I saw on Instagram.
Mike, show them the shirt. Yeah, Hotel Tropic. No, honestly, like the logistics side is definitely not like it's not easy. But it's just like anything else. Like if you come organized to anything, like you guys run the TSXL, like you show up, like things are there. Like if it's well thought out, it's going to be executed well, right? It's like that's going into it. Like we have a pretty I have a pretty tight process on how we run it. This one was definitely different because we had 4 teams, and so like really big thank you to like the Wolves, because the Wolves guys merged with us, and it really just started out as like a as like a one-off conversation. That's a great shirt. It just started out as like a one-off conversation with the Wolves, which was like, hey, we've been thinking about doing D4. You guys want to merge up with us and let's play this D4? But we ended up getting so many guys. I ended up posting something on like the Long Live page on Facebook. We had so many other guys. So then that became like we had a 5-man team, an X-Ball team for both divisions, C4 and D5. So we had 4 teams in total. So it was a lot. But again, like really, I just thought super well run. I think like the one thing looking back that I would do differently was just like how we interacted as like a total team. So like we were moving like paint around, pods around, bags around, because we didn't have like a home base to like lock in at. And it wasn't so much us, it was just Philly as a whole. Like, so in Florida, they had everybody would show up and they would set up their own tent, their own setup. And that's where you'd go when you weren't in the pits. Philly didn't have that. So what was happening was like everybody would mix bags, mix shit in the bags. Like I lost my cell phone 7 times. I lost my wallet 20 times. It was a mess because we were just intermingling all these bags and like all this extra shit, pods, like it was craziness. But like overall, like I think everything went smoothly because that was like we had a plan and people followed it. And so like for any team like looking at doing it, it's like, look, man, show up and be organized. Whoever the captain is, that's what you got to do. I know, we had some things with 3-man, but overall, like everything ran very, very smoothly.
Yeah, I mean that would have been your 4th team, so I mean a little understandable. Things are getting a little.
I was
hectic.
like, no, those were us.
17, 16.
And they had people playing on the paintballs for the puzzle 10-man.
That was a 17.
Yeah, so there was a good amount of teams.
Yeah, you had your hands full, but I mean, now that I see this in the chat, I can't ignore it. Pete kind of let it slip, but also Dynasty gave you guys pods for your final match. If you each want to take a little bit and talk about how it's like what? That's got to be awesome, dude. What? Who actually gave you the pods?
Ryan Green.
Hilarious. Yeah, go ahead, Rich. My bad.
No. I was saying Ryan Greenspan. Like one of the dudes just asked Ryan Greenspan, "Yo, can I take these pods?" And the guy was like, "Yeah," and he was great off the field. I know, whatever it is, like the guy was just like cool with us. Like, they when they were done, they were just hanging out in the pit, and then we just like, yeah, we need some pods. We take these. We were about to go buy them. So yeah,
we had so many lines. All of our pods were so far like separated from each other. It was like we had one box of pods left of our finals match.
Yeah, because the other pod set was going live with the D4X ball. The D4X ball had 2 boxes of pods, and they only had 1 left, and the D5 5-man just finished. And after I had played on Saturday, my job was essentially just to run around and organize the pits for every team. And so I'm bouncing around, and we're in the pits, and we're clearing off, and Ryan's there. And I think like the Long Live guys are lucky, Tropic especially, and I think we're pretty lucky in the sense that the veil was lifted for us early on. We have a good relationship with Yaya. He's an amazing guy. Pat Kraft's somebody that the Wolves are close with. I know that Greenspan's close with a lot of our guys. Like we've all had the communication. The veil was lifted, so there was nobody who was fangirling, and I think that everybody had approached it, and they were like, "Yeah, Ryan, can we have these pods?" It's like, "Yeah, of course." So we already had this GI paint, which I think most of the guys had never shot 5-star paint before. And then Ryan gives us this HK 5-star paint, and it's just out of this world. And, you know, and it was cool because not only were they playing, but they're about to go into overtime on their point, which, you know, the pros walk up. I don't even think they realize it. Tyler was behind them. Yaya was sitting behind them. I had Fedorov, Malloy. All these guys are standing in the pit behind these guys, watching them play as they're playing their overtime point. And they're like looking at each other like, look at these guys go. You know, like it's intense to watch, like pros watch somebody that you're close with and kind of can relate to you. And especially when you get a genuine reaction out of them or a genuine experience out of them. Because, you know, in most sports as a pro, you look at these guys, you're like, oh my God, it's a pro player. And they're just so welcoming to people that they've met, you know, because they're just great dudes most of the time. I've never had a bad experience. And I know that Yaya is a great guy. He came out and he sat with the Tropic guys for a full day. Yes, I was the Tropic guys for a full day and definitely didn't go out after. But no, they had I think that the guys overall, like the pits were super organized, and it's because I saw, like, I couldn't even remotely have the idea of seeing Jonah or Rich or Pete go for their pod or go to air up there. I was ripping things out of people's hands.
Yeah, give me
this. To make sure that, and I had anybody who wasn't playing was doing something, because I could see in their faces, like, they not only could they not be bothered, but they were on that level of just, yo, my body's going right now, so I need to stay on this. I'm like ripping guns out of people's hands, like, and then right back out there. There was points where the guys never even stepped off the field, and I would just bring it right back to the net for them, because like they were just so clocked in. You know, it was honestly, that pro field experience was something else.
Yeah, we also didn't know we were going right to X-Ball.
Yeah, it was straight X-Ball. There was no like.
I thought we were gonna like split deck with the D4 squad and stuff, and like we came off the field and it was like 2 minutes left. And we're like looking at it, our name's still on the thing. We're thinking like it's just an error. So like the first point was like genuinely like a wake up call. We didn't know, and you know, as many teams as we had, we kind of like light on the. We only had 7 bodies, so everybody obviously got spins, but. Yeah, man, it was pretty intense. Like just playing X-Ball out of the gate.
Rich, didn't you play on both finals teams?
I did, yeah.
We don't know how his body's still.
I was like wiped out by the time this thing was done. Like I was ready to take a nap. But
I think that's a first. You know, a first time that someone's played on 2 teams on a pro field in the same day.
Yeah, man.
That might be a record. We might need to check Go Sports. We might need to send them this.
That's like every point.
A barrel, a carbon barrel or something.
Yo,
I played home, I played home, which I usually like don't do, right? So like I've been fortunate. I got a great squad around me, and so like I was either doubling up home or playing home and then like bouncing out. But like I'm usually the one. And so like playing home, like even like going to the corner, like you see me in these points, I'm like super like slow. Like I wasn't pushing the field the way I usually do. Like I think I play pretty aggressive, but like I just didn't have the juice to like go into snake as the 2 guy, like after playing home, after playing like points back to back. Like it was way, like I've been running since I got home. Just out of sheer fact, like of conditioning. Like,
yeah,
was not a cool feeling of like trying to like slow the pace down of the game, especially on a fast layout, and not being like ready for it. We just honestly, I didn't know, and that was a new experience. So
there's a comfy brick for you on the new TSXL layout where you're not gonna have to move much. I'm telling you, I'm a post up real comfy there and just split sides. Join the back player life, Rich. It's much more comfortable. Look at Jonah. Jonah, literally, there wasn't a play that Jonah didn't go 3 feet in the air off the run into the snake every point and would come off looking like nothing happened. And just like, and I'm on my shirt, like shirt number 3. by the time finals hit, I have no idea how anybody's alive at this point.
No, dude, Jonah, it was sick. I mean, the Ghost Sport guys were talking.
My bad.
Yeah, that was
Sorry,
fucking dope. That was crazy.
We missed that opportunity in Florida.
That was crazy.
Upsetting.
Having like Matty
Pete, I think you had some some Wi-Fi issues.
Yeah, you're kind of scrambling, and I can kind of make it out. Like, but he's kind of saying that
Sorry,
like you guys
no,
didn't
it was
get there in
Pete.
Florida. Yeah, Pete's I think is in and out a little bit. But he was saying you guys didn't get there in Florida, so for you guys to get there this time around was like clutch.
Yeah.
But I was saying like Jonah, like having Maddie talk about you on the webcast, like
Yo,
right, pretty cool. I was
It's
watching
pretty
it,
cool,
man.
bro.
He's like, oh, I don't know. I think this guy's name is Rodriguez. He's in the Snake. He's killing it. Like that's gotta that had to put you on.
He's got great hair.
I don't
He
know,
does have
bro.
great hair.
I still can't even like. It's still like a dream come true, really. Like, he even found my Instagram and commented on my shit, like Archie, like a couple of my pictures. Like it's crazy. I'm like a fanboy right now. It's crazy.
Dude, I'd be the same way.
Jonah's hair never changed shape once over the past 4 days. It stayed completely intact.
That's what good hair does, man.
Garnier Fructis.
Hook my man up with a sponsorship. Get at him.
That the Hotel Tropic shampoo was next level. It kept it nice and tight.
You know.
Even at the end of the day, and all that sweat, diving in Snake One, still looking good, dude.
You know, thank you.
No, dude, for sure. But something I want to talk about now is like again, something all of you can maybe contribute a little because I'm sure you all look at it a little differently. Is how you guys break down layouts. So the NXL layout literally dropped today as we're talking about this right now. What are things you guys like look at? What are things you guys do when you break down layouts? Do specific guys look at certain areas? You just get it run in a group text, and what does it all think? Like how do you guys kind of break down layouts? Rich, you can go first.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Rich, if you want to go first.
No, look, I think the reality is, Travis, like, and honestly, probably part of like the hesitation of everybody is, the reality is like we've had a year, right? So like our paintball IQ, like general IQ, I'm sure is like solid, but paintball IQ, like we're still going up the learning curve, and so like we've just started to work with other people in the process, right? So like,
right. So you guys seek out help a lot. That's what your main goal is.
Yeah, dude. Like, if you go into a new business and you don't know the business, like, of course you want to align with people that really know the business well. And 100%. So like, a lot of times, like, I'll pick the brain of like guys that I know, like Tom Norwood from 88 Squad. Like, I'll talk to him, right? He's like one of the guys that like I'm not afraid to ask him, like, hey Tom, like, how would you run this if you were me, right? And so like, you pick the brain of a couple of guys, so like how they look at a layout, and then ultimately like the view always is like you have to tailor things like what you can execute against and who's on the squad. And so when like actually Matt Naz is another one. So Matt's been on the podcast multiple times.
Yep.
Really brilliant paintball guy. I love Matt, dear friend. But one of the most organized, one of the smartest guys I know in the paintball world. And so,
damn, when you said butt, I was really hoping you're going to throw some shade. I was like, oh, normally when you say this and you go butt, you're about to absolutely dunk on him.
Nah, I don't. You can't dunk on friends. Can't do
I would say contrary. I say you can dunk on friends. That's how you know you're really friends.
I mean, we did just beat them pretty well, pretty convincingly. But no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, honestly, so like I'll have those conversations, and then you try to whittle it down to like what's your squad capable of and who's playing when. And so like we're fortunate we have a pretty athletic crew, and so like we always kind of take like an aggressive approach to a layout. And so like a lot of times it's like, how do we, it's like anything else though, but you say, okay, there's different points when different guys are in. And so certain times we want to put pressure on the D side. Like this D side looks fantastic. And so like for me, instead of playing home, I'm likely going to play D side just because that's where like multiple guys look like they can beast out, but we haven't played the layout yet. So we don't, you don't know until you get there and see it and like try to practice it. But that's typically like, and I know it's not necessarily the most succinct answer, but it's typically how we break it down is like we go out, we play, we look at what works for us, and then we take some other advice. And like even for instance, like in this event, like there was a couple of guys that were playing that with like a much higher paintball IQ, like some of the leverage guys, 88 Squad again, Raptors again, and you start to talk to them and you see things that you just don't see, like playing it the way you play it, right? And so,
Right.
it's like the D4 squad, when we played the Raptors, we totally switched up the game plan, and we slowed it down a step, not necessarily pulled like all breaks, but we slowed it down and we crossed up, and we knew like, okay, we're playing this team. They have a very good snake guy and a very good Dorito guy, and so like, what side do we want to pick on? So like, we picked the Dorito side. And so, like, our guy just went to the alpha, which was like that little cake before the snake side, Nikki, and Nikki just sat in that bunker and just dumped and dumped and dumped and didn't let the guy move. And even if he did move, like, hopefully we pick him off. But if we weren't, like, we were just doing the job, right? And so, like, every time comes down to, like, when you look at these layouts, it's like, it's great to have a game plan, but these game plans have to adapt quickly when you're playing different teams with different skill set relative to what you have as your capability.
Right. Dude, I know it's a big football thing, but I'm a big thing. If the plan can't be changed, it's the bad plan. You got to be able to adapt for other teams' strengths and weaknesses and etc. You got to.
Yeah, like 100%. So like last year, it was like first time playing guys. Like we went to tournaments with like everybody was beginner, or everybody had 50 points, or like the first tournament, even though we won, like that gets wiped, right? So like we got 0, we're still in beginner. And at the end of the day, it's like we didn't change the breakout a lot. And we noticed like third tournament, fourth tournament. Actually, Travis, I think you might have been on the team when we were playing you guys in the playoffs in the EPL event.
Yep.
With Waldo's squad. And Waldo, by the way, you were bitching and moaning about the rules. And I was like,
all right. So you want to know what the fuck happened?
Here we go.
This guy doesn't want to play us. He's scared.
No. I didn't even know where you guys were at that point. Mike was there too with the Wolves, I think.
That was the first time I talked to him.
You didn't stop crying.
He did it.
The only tournament I've ever been to where it's, the 1 and the 2 seed get to buy. But no, not in Hillbilly EPL. It's the 1 and the 3 seed get to buy. And then this motherfucking Hillbilly, I tell him, Chad, I'm like, figure it out. I go, this is the rule. He's like, you're right. Then I call the APPA. He says I'm right. And then the guy from Vision comes over and he's like, they're like, we're going to change it. And he's like, so you're trying to tell me APPA could be wrong? I'm like, yeah, I'm telling you APPA can be wrong. It's a computer system. It doesn't go to the 19th tiebreaker or whatever. And then they're like, I turn around, I take a shit, I come back, and they're like, no, the 1 and the 3 seed get to buy. Because this guy goes, oh, I bring 20 people. I bring 2 teams every event. So I flip out. I'm like, I bring all the teams. I'm like, all the teams here are mine. I'm like, the Villains are my team. The Wolves are my team. I'm like, the High Rollers tomorrow are my team. These are all my teams. I bring all the teams here. So I bring 40 people. And then they're like, no, we got to play. You got to play another round. Because I wanted to buy because my dude was gassed. I'll be legit. I had 7 people. Maybe 5 of them could play paintball. The other kid, he's been potting all day. I'm not putting the pod guy in after he's been potting all day. That's not fair.
Shout out to the pod guy.
Not fair for the pod
Bro, you
guy.
just said maybe I could play paintball. That's like the best compliment you've ever given me in my life.
People. Justice for the pod guy.
We love the pod guy. Everybody loves the pod guys. With no pod guys, you can't have a team. So then it was like we had to play Tropic Thunder. We smoked them, and then we had to play Vision. And then the Wolves, and then all right, wait, but this is the big thing though. So now the Wolves are playing the Vision for the finals.
Bro, stop. I don't want to talk about this game.
Dave Magid is literally looking at me like this. I'm on top of the table, waving for him to go down the field. That's whether that's legal or not is another story. But and this dude's just looking at me, and time runs out. So
No. Well, the whole story is I had 15 balls left in my hopper, and I realized that there's no time. Dave goes, there's 20 seconds left. And I'm like, all right, well, it's time to go. So I bolt, I bunker the Dorito, and then I go to turn and start sprinting. I start taking balls at me at the Dorito side. I duck in. I think it's the snake kid, Joe Giannone. I shoot him. It was Dave shooting at me the whole time, thinking I was their Dorito guy. So I stopped. I hit the buzzer 0.1 seconds after the thing went off. That was the most heartbreaking thing I've ever dealt with in my life.
I don't think it was 0.1 seconds after the fact, but either way, anyway, that was EPL, and we could talk. But you guys end up playing TSXL, and you guys have been doing pretty good in that also.
Didn't everybody leave EPL that was a long-lived team after that?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure everybody.
That's why I started a D5 division. Honestly, was from that event.
Oh my God.
We have yet to be back.
Yeah, I don't think any. I remember we had talked to you, Waldo. We're like, Waldo, please start a Division 5 event. You're like, are there enough teams? And we had contacted everyone. Was like, Rich, TSXL D5, High Roll TSXL D5, Tempo TSXL, everybody D5. We're like, okay, and that was it.
Now event 3 is coming up.
Yeah, Jesus.
And 3, man.
But
don't be making up rules, event, please.
What'd you say this event?
I said, don't be making up rules.
I don't make up rules.
You
A lot of buy rules coming out of Waldo.
Yeah, Waldo calls his friend. Like, hold on, let me get the guy on the phone. It's his boy in a basement playing video games. He's fucking making up rules.
I didn't make up rules.
This second,
I'm gonna say this again. I'm going to say this again. In the event of a 3-way tie,
Waldo, the kid's eating Doritos. He's like, yeah,
first
man.
goes the point margin, and
yeah,
then
you're right.
Head. What Rich doesn't tell you, if he scored one more point against any of those teams, he would have been fine. But
no, actually, Waldo, honestly, it worked out for us because that happened to the D4 squad this weekend. So they
it
tied.
worked out in your favor this time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They also had the spread, but they did have the they had the same thing we had. So they beat the third team on spread, but they also beat them because they won the head-to-head.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be a great episode. I've cried twice from laughter, and Waldo told me I maybe might be good at paintball. This is in one for the record books.
I said the team was we might have had 5 good guys. That's what I said.
Travis is good, man. He's the kid that looks like Jesus out there. He's fucking going to smoke someone.
I didn't know who he was first. I used to call him Jesus. I was like, yo, Jesus is going up Doritos, dude.
Jesus, that's right. Watch out.
What he doesn't tell you is that EPL, we have video footage of him in 1 point not shooting his gun for an entire minute. An entire minute, dude. What are you doing? He's like, I couldn't see people. It was raining. I'm like, just shoot the puff clouds, dude.
We put a guy out for his first point with us. He was trying out for us for EPL. Goes out for his first point. He's like, my gun's down. Goes the whole point without shooting a ball. We get off the field. We won the point. Like, let me see he never turned the ASA on, so I was like, "Oh Jesus!" All right, well that's that.
And when you start a team your first time, like the first, you know what I mean? There's some dumb moments for sure.
Oh, bro, I'm not gonna lie, that was me just a year ago.
John was like, "That was me last week before I joined Tropic." We would do a lot of that. No, we don't do that, but, shout out to the villains.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at that event, we had Jacob and Russ high-five each other. No big deal. That's totally cool. You could definitely touch each other.
Oh, God, yeah.
That's my number one pet peeve.
I did high-five Dave Majid at the first EPL, and they're like, you're both out. I was like, what do you mean we can't high-five? I just killed it. And he's like, you're both out. I was like, what the fuck?
That's how it happens.
Who hasn't done that, though?
Oh, I feel like everybody's done that once.
Never done it. Never once. Because I don't get excited when we win the point. I'm just like, okay, we won the point like we should, and I walk off.
Like we should. Yo, Waldo, did you make this layout that just came out?
I'm going to give you guys the scoop here on Oversight of Paintball Podcast. It's the Atlantic City 2018 layout with slight edits.
I was going to say, it looked like you dropped a tab of acid and just dropped all the bunkers on the layout. You were like, this is it.
No, Waldo, I'm not gonna lie. That's what they said in my group chat. Waldo just dropped a bunch of Legos on a board and fucking started moving shit around.
That's what people say about every layout. Like Sanborn said in the long live chat. He was like, "You're gonna pick a good layout this time." I'm like, "Hopefully." Because 10 people like it, 10 people hate it, 40 people think it's okay. Like, yeah, it's like. Don't get in the paintball business if you think you're gonna please anybody.
Don't get in any business.
Yeah, there you go.
Facts.
No
Facts.
You gotta adapt.
But yeah, dude, let's get back to this awesome event you guys have been absolutely crushing it at. So going up to this event the 2 weeks beforehand, did you guys do straight hard practices? We're talking Saturday, Sundays. What was your guys' practice regimen going into Philly?
Yeah, so I mean, well, I'm sure Jonah could speak to it, Mike could speak to it, like you guys were both there, but ultimately like we did Saturday 2 weeks before. That was like the first day we put a bunch of people on the field, and we were trying to figure out like where everybody's going to play, like what line, what division. So we went through that process and then started trying to tighten it up, but it was hard because of all this thing. So that added like extra layer of complexity. But we did do Saturday, Sunday, and then Saturday, Sunday, and but not everybody was able to take every day, right? So like most lines had a chance to like rep 5 guys at once, but they weren't able to like understand like where a sub would go or who would swap into them.
Okay.
And so that was like the one thing that I think like if we could have done differently, like would have been beneficial. Like if we could understand like, all right, if this guy's not playing, who's going in to fill this spot? But it was just hard because not everybody was there. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. Like you got 25 guys, not everybody's going to show up on the same time, the same day. It's not a crew of 7 or 8. So, but we tried to do our best to like really put the time in, understand the layout, understand the breakout. That's my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, cool. So, Mike, did you guys do like a lot of drills, low body situations? Was it strictly you guys just running points and smacking heads against another team? How were the practices kind of going?
We lucked out pretty nicely. Rich put together the lines, and we had the backfield, and Long Live was cool that we had actually just strictly played points against each other. We were limited on time, like Rich had said. We had Father's Day, and we were kind of seeing who was even going to play on what team. Like last second, I was like, I'm playing on the D4-5 man, and then we pieced some guys in there. And then last second before the event, we even put guys in. But honestly, it was really just points, really just drilling in points, checking lanes. Like I'm a back player. I play across all the back, and I play up the middle usually. So for me, it was just finding off break lanes, and like we'd run our points, and then immediately after everybody left, I sat there and I was like, what's the cheekiest off the break shot I can find? Like I want to find something that's just gonna like that people can't figure out. I actually found one on the Dorito side. I had passed it off to a bunch of people and it worked out. But Rich picked a pretty good group of guys. Like the guys on Tropic are have a pretty good IQ, and the guys on Wolves that I play with are having pretty good IQ. So we all everybody was throwing different things in there. So everybody really kind of collaborated on not only just plays, but bounces, where to look, the checkoffs and stuff like that. It was really just a lot of point running and a lot of like analyzing it afterwards. Like we were lucky because one team would play the other team, and then the other team would play the other team. So there was time in between where like, what happened? Why did it happen? How can we stop it? Kind of thing. And that layout was nice because there wasn't much off the break shooting aside from a single lane on the Snake side, and there was like a Hail Mary lane on Dorito. But if everybody could get into Dorito 1, but if you could stop them from that, it was a huge thing. So we were trying to figure that out, and we ended up accomplishing that on our side. But the Snake side, we never really had to worry about, like, at least from my perspective, Jonah getting into the Snake, because Jonah always got into the Snake. He's fast. He had no problem feeding it, so there was no
fast as fuck, boy.
Yeah, there's no primary, secondary. And then James played every point of D4 X ball, every single point. He never subbed out, and he played like that. He absolutely, honestly, like James is a close friend of mine. Played every single point of X ball, and I think I only saw him get shot out once or twice. And you would be surprised because as a back player, there's a pretty big lane. So we didn't really have the game plan about getting Jonah into the Snake or getting James into the Snake. It was really, who could we shoot off break? How can we get widest? And then it came down to, getting people up the middle and locking down the Dorito side, because you couldn't really lock the Snake down as much as you'd like to. You had to shut down the Dorito and then kind of door swing the whole field onto the Snake side. But it was just a lot of points and a really good collaboration of minds. Like Danny from Wolves, big brain IQ, and he looks at me like I look to him, same as like Rich looks to the Tropic or the Raptors guys, the 88 squad. I look at Danny, I'm like, how do we figure this out? Because you need somebody who has the IQ. And Danny breaks it down, and so that's what he did with the Raptors game, and he figured it out. But yeah, it's just a lot of points, man. A lot of points. a lot of thinking you're going to be able to get to a bunker. You don't. You get lit up on the way. But yeah, it's the way to do it. That's what practice is for.
For right learning, man. So was there anything that and you both of you can answer this if you'd like, was there anything at practice where you're like, yo, this is working, I got this shot locked in, it's there every time, and then you went to the event and you're like, that shot is gone, I don't know where it went, but it's not here no more? Was there anything like that, or did you feel like from practice to the event it was very similar, everything was pretty much the same?
I mean, Jonah, you can go first.
Yeah, I wanted to say, like, you would think that you wouldn't get the same shots. It would be maybe a little bit different, harder, but honestly, we locked in.
Nice.
I look back at practice like, shit, I didn't remember it being like this. Like, it just was like we really locked in. Like,
yeah,
honestly, it was 50% playing and 50% energy. Like, combining all that together, it created like just amazing playing. It was insane.
I think honestly, as time has gone on, Long Live as a local field's been progressively getting bigger and better, and I think adding the addition of the backfield, the bump for the first time, there's a little variation on the backfield to the front field sometimes on Long Live, but this time it was perfect, and it translated perfect to the actual NXL. Like, no variation. There wasn't like a sliver. There's a gap there. Then you go to the field and you're like, where the fuck is the gap?
Right.
Shout out to Rich. Shout out to
seriously. Seriously, the guys at Long Live put that field together like Legos, man. It was really, really well done. Really well done.
Nice. Yeah, no, because it can be a little different, especially because like the NXL is not on turf. It's on like this one was in a fucking farmland.
It wasn't on turf. It wasn't on grass. It was on a wonderful pile of corn.
Yeah. So like you could sometimes like, oh, the D1's in a hole in this field, so maybe like shots are different. That's why I was curious to know if it was.
I'm actually surprised, Jonah. Did you see it? Like, it wasn't that bad. It looked terrible, but it wasn't as bad that I thought. Like, because we got up there on Friday, or on Thursday afternoon. We're like, oh shit. And I'm talking to Yaya, and Yaya's like, some dude just popped his whole shoulder out, sliding into the snake. I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, because if you were anywhere on the internet, all you heard was, this shit sucks. It's fucking terrible. It's the worst ever.
But none of those people. Dude,
worked up.
Give us something local that we could be profitable in.
It can't be local. That's the thing. It can't be local.
It doesn't have to be
a destination.
Put us in Pennsylvania. It's 2 hours away. Give us a place where we could rent an Airbnb for a reasonable price. People fucking camp out for a weekend and go crazy Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I want the overshot Moneyball X-Ball tournament. That's it. That's what I want. No NXL. Yo, I'm serious.
You're going to laugh, but honestly, like, Staten Island has this beach, right? South Beach. Odd place, different place. Overlooks all of Manhattan, all of Coney Island. It's
dude,
like,
everyone's going to be late to traffic.
We're not making an HB event. Like Backwood Huntington Beach and paintball.
You're talking about the soccer team?
And like, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
you run it, I'll put a team in, but I'll put a team in, and I'll say I'll play, but I won't play. I'll get a team to win it, and I'll be standing there.
and I get it's a hobby, man. I get it's a hobby, but like when you think about like these other hobbies, for instance, fishing, right? So like super expensive hobby to go fishing, fucking gas, boat, fucking bait, all this extra shit.
Right.
But there's one tournament a year, right? So like you're a regular guy or you're a billionaire, you go to this event, it's $10,000 for entry, right? $500,000 boats or $250,000 boats, whatever the number is.
Right.
These boats, they dock out of 5 different places and they go into this event. And like, dude, that guy that like saved up all year with 5 of his buddies to cover the entry, like they stand a chance. They paid their $10,000 plus food, plus gas, plus whatever. Like if they catch the right fish, they're winning $1 million. Right. So like in every other sport, this exists except for this sport. And it's like also like you elevate everything around it, which is like, hey man, like who's the media? like, okay, ESPN might not want to cover a TSXL event, but like, tell them like, look, guys, we got 50 teams playing for, 100 grand, 200 grand, whatever the right number is. Like, why aren't these media stations like really engaged? Like, Go Sports, what am I gonna watch on Go Sports? Skeet shooting and paintball? Like, I have no option.
Right? No, I agree.
I'm limited on my extreme Go Sports. Skeet shooting finals.
Anyway,
I think it could definitely happen.
It's a rant, but it's a real rant because I think a lot of people are just confused. It's like, and that's like part of the problem is like, and again, this is all from a perspective of an outsider, somebody that's only been here for a year, right? So it's just like a genuine, like, honest question to the world. It's like, well, what could we be doing to make this thing more exciting, more fun? And granted, like, that's why you asked the question before. It's like, why do you go to NXL? Well, that's why we go to NXL, man. We're hanging out for a week and we have a fucking blast. Whether we win or lose, regardless, we have. And Mike and Jonah can attest to this. Like, we had a fucking awesome time as a crew.
Right.
That was it. Like, that's why.
Albeit Jonah shot like 6
4. Yeah, it didn't matter. And Jonah played awesome. Pete played like the whole squad played great. Mike did an amazing job with both playing and like managing the whole crew. James played like a beast. Like, we had a whole bunch of new guys that came in with us. Scott and Kevin played amazing on the D4. Nikki from Leverage played great. Like, we were like legitimately like a hodgepodge of guys, but the whole core thing was like, these guys we can hang out with and have a good time with for a weekend, right? So like, that was a great experience, and I think for everybody, like, we even had Noah from Freak Show, like, who you've seen at the field. Noah puts a lot of work in. Hasn't played. I don't know if
really anything. I always tell them, like, dude, what are you doing? What are you practicing for?
No,
You don't play anything.
We told them that we would win, and then of course, like, he's playing on the pro field, and like the camera's following him around the whole time. But like, we have this great relationship with the Villains and the Wolves and like these teams. So we're not looking to steal people. We're just looking to collaborate, right? But that's because it's a national event. And so like, a hope is Tropic has this brand that's national, that's really, really strong, using some of the best guys locally that we feel like we align with. But outside of that, the question becomes like, what else is there? And if it's not profitable, it's not profitable. If there's no way to do it, it's no way to do it. It is what it is. Like, we're all still playing paintball.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I think there is. I think the issue with like NXL or anything like that, I think, to be legit with you, I think why fix what's not broken? Like, I think it's broken, but I think in their mind they don't see it as broken because they're like, yeah, like, you guys just complained about the field, the dirt, the this, the that. But all
Sorry,
you
boys, I gotta pee. Keep going, Walter. I gotta take a piss. I'll be right back.
all you guys paid up.
But there's only one option. There's only one option.
There's only one option because you let there be one option.
If we said no, that's what I'm saying. Like, I gotta scour PB leagues, figure out where the hell else I'd want to play, like, and go play, like. And
Dude,
I'm not in this.
You like California? Pick. And I'm not. This is not my nod, but you like going to California? Go to WCPPL. Because first of all, realistically, Rich, it doesn't matter. Because doesn't matter. You're gonna find the sickest Airbnb at whatever fucking place it is. And you guys are gonna party like rock stars and have a good time. It could be the middle of bumfuck Alabama, or it could be England, or it could be Miami, or it could be Vegas. It doesn't matter.
Valid points, Wilma.
You guys can have a good time anyway. Realistically, you can rent an Airbnb 15 minutes from Long Live and do the same thing. You know what I mean? How practical it is, I don't know, but I mean, it might work, honestly.
Like, you and me have sat and talked, Waldo. We talked when we first, like, not that long ago, we talked about like how the league is run, like the costs and stuff like that. And I think I understand a little bit more than like just a random person from the outside, because we talked about the cost. Because I told you I wanted to run that limited one-on-one tournament. So I understand that by the end, I was trying to figure out how people, because we wanted to run the 2 twister guns. Remember, I told you we wanted to run that 1v1 for the twisters. By the end of it, refs, registration, the guns, everything, I was like, fuck, I'm not going to make anything on this.
I'm gonna make a nice steak dinner or whatever. And listen, why NXL doesn't do it blows my mind, because I literally just think like a slight better of a product, like
I don't think they could have a better product.
I agree.
They could easily give out, instead of giving you fucking $2,000, they could easily give you the 4 or 5 and lock in the market share. I 100% believe that. As far as my events, if I keep getting good turnouts, it could happen. You know what I mean? I do think, and no disrespect to, comp paintball or anything. I do think, comp paintball, it's cool, it's awesome, or anything like that. But right now, for me to spend money on comp paintball, does that bring me any money in? No, I just pay comp paintball. And it's cool, it's nice, it's whatever. It lags sometimes, it does this and that other thing. He wants to bring in all these other cool things. I'm just like, dude, I just need a steady stream. So, could potentially down the road there be more money? Yeah, because I mean, as I have everything paid off a little bit. The other thing too, I do believe sometimes some of these like leagues or anything like that, EPL, and this is why I'm saying about like the competition. NXL's not going to do shit until it hurts their bottom line. EPL did no X-Ball until I did X-Ball. For the play, and it's not just me, but for the players was D5 5-man, and then all of a sudden they did D5 X-Ball. So like things are kind of changing a little bit in the area, like as far as a more money-based tournament. My only, me bumping it up a little bit, I see that happening. Me doing for the players, whatever the thing. To me, that model has already been proven it doesn't work.
But people trust you more than they would trust the other guy.
I mean, maybe now, but I mean, in original, it's. I'm not the most like guy in paintball. I'm not in, and this is a thing. There is a paintball. I'm not in the paintball Illuminati. I'm not the.
Don't you lie to our fans? Yes, you are. Don't you lie to our fans? Yes, you are.
I'm not in the paintball Illuminati, dude. Like let's be real. Let's be real. I'm not in the paintball Illuminati. I mean, Tom Cole has called me, but he didn't offer me a job to join I think Tom's one of the good guys. I don't want to throw Tom under the bus either. But I mean, the other thing too is that the two guys that run the league have teams in the league in NXL. Like, it's Randy from Heat and it's Bart from Impact.
Yeah. So
I mean, I'm sure they want more money too, but I think at the end of the day, it's $750,000 to run a good pro team. It's $750,000 to run a heater and it's $750,000, and they're winning what, $10,000 an event.
It's a merch based sport. Everything comes through sponsorships. That's what it all comes down to.
I think it's all tax.
The sponsorships aren't big enough. Like
there are no sponsorships. Let's be real.
Sponsorships. You see Houston Heat's using Luxes or whatever, and then the next
then they got sponsors. Tropic Thunder has Rich, that's one sponsor, and then all the other guys, they're partners.
No. Big shout out to the sponsors: Aero, Commodi.
Oh, where's my Aero at?
Like sponsors, like GI package deal, like or Valken pack, VPC, or any of these things. It's like, I don't know. It's just sometimes like, listen, it's cool to have all match and shit and nice stuff. I don't think you need to go the complete opposite and rock 10-year-old Geo 3.1s. There's a middle ground there, but
Doug,
pull a full leverage. We're still using macro lines.
They like that. They like that dirt and grime look, though. That's part of their motif.
Yeah.
That's part of their motif. So, listen. Not opposed to money. I'm not opposed to doing. If I were to do like you're saying, like a one-off, I'd rather just do it on an island.
Well, we have Staten Island.
No,
And
that's
Rich
not
has a good idea.
Long Island, Staten Island.
Rich is not a good Huntington. Yo, Rich's concept of a Huntington Beach paintball tournament. There are locations here you could run it. Be pretty nuts. It would be
The
pretty
thought
nuts.
of like an X-Ball ICC is interesting. You know what I'm saying? Like a one-off X-Ball tournament that's just like this grandiose.
Well, that's
kind of
what
thing.
the guy from Under's trying. He's gonna do Mardi Gras, but it's like 3 weeks after Mardi Gras, and it's gonna be open X-Ball, 2 15-minute halves, I think. Open
Also, old
division.
school.
Rich is like, I'm putting a team in open division. I'll call it. I'll call it Greenspan. I'm talking to Greenspan this weekend. I'm waiting for Rich to put in a team in Elite, but I don't think Elite's going to happen because, I don't know. The Bandits won. I don't think anybody wants to play the Bandits, but we'll see.
Yo, the Elite event was very cool to watch.
That was cool.
It was sweet to watch for sure.
That was the first time I saw people at that caliber playing, like the speed behind them and stuff.
No, it was sick, man, and I think a lot of like.
I still think Jonah's faster than most snakes, but it is what it is.
Get him.
Jonah get low. Small boy, real small boy.
You should have him coin race somebody. One of those coins. Get one of those coins and have him challenge Goldman or someone.
That's what I'm saying. I only have one, and I'm trying to see Goldman. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, you should just buy. If you buy 5, what did Frank want? 5 silvers to go for a black coin.
I think that's what he said. 5.
The black coin's legit too. That's better.
Wait, but Frank plays the tournament.
Frank played TSXL last year.
No, I'm saying Frank plays the match. So like, I would definitely, I would back Jonah. 5 silver coins if Frank's watching, to a black coin. That guaranteed done.
I'll throw a coin in on that too.
I'm about to clip this.
Yes,
What a one-on-one?
I'm down to 4 coins, and I know Derek would throw a coin in too.
What we got? We got 7 coins on Jonah to pull the 1 coin out of Frank. Frank would do it.
Frank would do it, and I'm listen.
I'll hit him on this.
Set it up.
Set it up. Set it up.
I can easily set it up. I can easily set it up. I will call him right after this for sure.
Shout out Dilly Dilly, best donuts out there. Shout out Dilly Dilly.
Those donuts are ridiculous.
Shout out,
dude. So good.
I'm listening. I'm telling you right now, Frank's gonna smoke him.
Frank is good,
Frank's
man.
gonna
Frank is
smoke
fucking
him
good.
with a belly full of donuts.
Get him on
I'll go a couple of slushy pros.
Ooh, slushy pro. I don't know. Well, you know, a couple slushy pros. That's a different game we're talking. That's a different game we're talking. Slushy pros. That's a different game. But
Slushy pros are the best, man. They fuck your stomach up like nothing else, but they're great.
Delicious. But you know, we've taken a couple turns and left, right, the other thing. But so overall, you could take a little second. The event as a whole, man. Like, just give me a couple words, man. I mean, again, playing on the pro field, Sunday Club. Not even everyone even gets to make it that far. A couple words, man. How did that feel?
Give it to Jonah and Rich, man. Give these
Jonah.
boys go. There you go.
I mean, if you're just listening, heading over to YouTube, I mean, the 2 medals that he's showing right now, I think says it all, man.
I got wind chimes now.
He's got wind chimes now. I love it, dude. But dude, so what's the future hold? Like, what is Tropic Thunder? You guys plan on doing all the NXLs and TSXL? Like, what events are on the must for Tropic Thunder for the rest of the year?
Yeah, so definitely TSXL and all the NXLs. I mean, like I think our view is, look, man, we said it very simply, like, and I know we went back and forth on this thing. It's not a profitable venture, but like, it's really an awesome escape. And so, you know, for us, like, we've built people around us, like the Wolves, the Villains, where we like the guys that we play with, right? And so, like, a lot of times NXL doesn't conflict with everybody else's schedule. So we're out there we're a crew of this one. We were like a legitimately like Caribbean nation. They're like 35 guys like walking around, and they're all wearing tropic stuff, and everybody's having a good time. But in all seriousness, it's you know, for us, like, it's about building out a brand. And so, you know, beyond just like what we're doing now at like some of the NXL stuff, we have a lot of stuff in the pipeline.
Like what? Like what do you have?
Stuff we can't talk about, Waldo. You know,
Oh, that's okay.
Like what type of stuff? Gear,
just,
t-shirts,
just
hats,
the whole gear setup.
beer koozies.
We'll do a beer koozie for you. We have some lighters for you.
We have wonderful candles. I'm gonna keep plugging this candle because this thing smells. My girl loves this candle.
Candles.
Oh, dang. Sensual oil.
No, but in all seriousness, like for us, like the goal is like I'm not going pro. You know, Jonah's young enough to maybe go pro, and so like we want to leave something that's like left. It's like that Tropic Thunder team is awesome, and I think like certain teams locally have done a really good job of this. Leverage also being one. You know, the Wolves have been doing a good job. So like part of it goes hand in hand with winning, right? It's like you play and you're cool guys and people like you, and then you win, you start to gain some respect. And then it's like it comes down to like how you win, right? So if you win like assholes and everybody acts like dickheads all the time, it's like it doesn't do it, right? They're just dickheads that are good at paintball.
Yeah.
So for us, like Jonah knows, like, and Mike knows very well. Like, we have a very like serious approach to like, hey man, like this isn't about you or your fucking attitude or your bullshit. It's about like, the team, and we're either going into this thing like as a squad or we're not. Right. And so if you come play with us, like even if you're a guest, we're not going to accept hopper dumps. We're not going to accept this dumb shit because it's just not who we are as people. Like we want to go out, we want to have a good time, and we don't need all the bullshit. That's why I get away from, you know, like the other things in my life and use paintball as like an avenue for that. And so like I think everybody subscribed very well to that concept. But we're also a tight-knit group, right? So like, but it's not like you couldn't approach us. Like anybody can talk to Mike, anybody can talk to me. Like I think I'm a pretty approachable guy. Jonah's an approachable guy. But we have our crews that we like a lot, right? So we like the Wolves, we like Leverage, we like a couple of people in the community, the Raptors. And so we've been fortunate to have like a lot of friends just because the way we handle ourselves, like not just on the field, but off the field.
Right. No, dude, that's awesome. And that's what kind of happens. Like you find your friend, like, you know, you find your friends or whatever, and you find your cliques, and then those end up being your homies, man.
It's like anything else.
100%. And real quick before we let you guys go, thank you for hanging out with us. Is the shout out time? I know you plugged your sponsors a little bit before, but also like any people you want to shout out, like do let them know that you appreciate their help and whatnot. Now is the time. Start with you, Mike.
Shout out Tropic, of course. He's at the top. I want to shout out everybody from the Wolves, man. James, Danny, PB, all my boys in the D4, the D5 line. Rob's head of Paintballers for the Puzzle. He's got a crazy good foundation.
Really great.
Really great.
He works real hard. He's really somebody who's taken paintball to like a real family-oriented level. He had a 10-man squad out there. He cares a lot about the community. I don't know anybody in the world who cares about giving to people he's never met like that guy does, man. Rob's a great dude. His foundation's solid. You can find him on Instagram and stuff. And Wolves, Tropic, and Paintballs for the Puzzle. Arrow, got my sponsorship from Arrow, and that's it, baby. And Commodity, every day take it with stride, bro. That's it.
Hell yeah. Now it's your turn, man. Any people or anything like that you want to thank and help for helping you guys get here?
Jonah?
Yeah, I mean, shit. Shout out Tropic, shout out Rich, for everything. Without the whole foundation, the whole brand, I mean, where would this, be? How would this happen? Shout out the villains. I mean, without them, I wouldn't even be here. You know what I mean? Like I started with them. They showed me the ropes. You know what I mean? Shout out Techie. Shout out Henry. Shout out Money. Shout out Caesar. Shout out Eli. Shout out Chepo. It's just
the boys.
Family, yeah.
Big what's up
to the Tropic. It's just a tight knit. It's a family now.
Dude, that's how it's got to be. And Rich, round it off, man. The last word, the El Capitan, man. The last word goes to you.
So, dude, again, very, very thankful for the people that we work with. So the Wolves, Villains, everybody's awesome. Obviously, my whole team, because without the guys, like, and if it wasn't fun, I wouldn't be wasting my time. So thanks to them. Obviously, very big thank you to my fiance for letting me play paintball.
Smart man. Smart man.
That was a good.
She deals with the craziness of like, like you wake up on a Saturday and you got to tell your girl you're going to play paintball, and like if you didn't tell the night before, it's just that experience of people that know. But she's
dude,
cool.
I mean, my girl's hella hard on me, dude. My girl's hella hard on me. Like, we'll get up for a tournament, and she's like, "Hey, honey, just remember, I didn't wake up for a loser." I'm like, "Hey, thanks, honey." Legit, all the time.
Don't come home without a medal, sweetie. What?
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, you fucking got 4? What the fuck?
For real.
You left me all day and didn't win."
Pouch.
For real. Shout out to all the girls, dude. But yeah, no, my girl's hard body. She don't play games like that.
Yeah, so we've been very fortunate, and then obviously our sponsors, Aero, Commodi, GI, JT, the whole gang. Soon to be Solomon, this cleat company. I don't know if people wear those, but I wear them. They're amazing.
Yeah, dude, shout out, man. Thank you guys for coming on and chatting with us for a little bit, dude. It was really awesome to get your guys' perspective, a winning perspective. Like my man Jonas said, you guys got chimes hanging up in your guys' places now. So
We'll start
thank you
calling
for
it that.
dude, that was good. I'm gonna steal that. No lie, that was good. Yeah, thank you guys for coming on, spending so much time with us. We really appreciate it.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you,
You
Lord.
guys, Waldo, we love you.
Awesome, man. And we'll catch all you guys on the next episode. Take it easy, guys.
Open shot, Moneyball.
Moneyball.
Go.
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. They sing on a sleepless night. Try to catch me howling at the moon.